Hello, my dear children. I'm here with a new video on trade and commerce. Let's start. In today's video, you will learn about meaning of commerce, meaning of trade, types of trade, aids to trade, and last, comparison between industry, commerce, and trade. So let us know the meaning of commerce. Commerce means all those activities which are related to buying and selling. So, in commerce, there are two persons who are involved. One is the buyer and the other one is the seller. The main focus of commerce is to bring goods and services from the place of production to the place of consumption, which means जहाँ पे गुड्स मैन्युफैक्चर हुए हैं वहाँ से गुड्स लाके जहाँ पे कंज्यूमर है वहाँ गुड्स को पहुँचा देना, यही काम होता है कॉमर्स का. In other words, carrying the goods from the place of abundance to the place of scarcity. Commerce is of two types, trade and auxiliaries to trade. Next is meaning of trade. Trade means procurement and buying of goods and services with the purpose of selling these at a profit. It means, in simple words, एक जगह से खरीदो, उस पर कुछ प्रॉफिट रखो और उसको दूसरी जगह पे बेच दो. ट्रेड में दो लोगों का काम होता है. वन इज़ द बायर, अदर इज़ द सेलर. सो हु इज़ द बायर? अ बायर मीन्स अ पर्सन हु बाइज गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. मतलब जो इंसान गुड्स खरीदता है उसको बायर बोलते हैं. एंड द वन हु सेल्स गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज इज़ कॉल्ड द सेलर. जो इंसान गुड्स को बेचता है उसको बोलते हैं सेलर. तो ट्रेड के लिए दोनों ही लोगों का होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, बायर का भी और सेलर का भी. द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज़ टाइप्स ऑफ ट्रेड. द फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ ट्रेड इज़ इंटरनल ट्रेड, जिसको हम लोग होम ट्रेड भी बोलते हैं और डोमेस्टिक ट्रेड भी बोलते हैं. इंटरनल ट्रेड मीन्स buying and selling activities carried out within a country. Within the geographical boundaries of a country, when activities of buying and selling are done, it is called domestic trade or internal trade. It is of two types, wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade means when you are buying from the producer and selling it to the retailer. It involves selling of goods in bulk. Retail trade means he buys from the wholesaler and sells in small volume to the consumer. The other category of trade is external trade, also known as foreign trade or international trade. It means trading activities being carried out between two or more countries. These are of three types. Number one, export, which means selling of goods to another country. For example, India exports eggs to UAE. Import, on the other hand, means buying of goods from a foreign country. For example, India imports oil from Russia. And the third category is entrepot trade. This type of trade is a combination of export trade and import trade. The sole motive of entrepot trade is buying of goods from a foreign country and selling it to another country. For example, India buys gold from South Africa and sells it to America. Next is aids to trade. Aids to trade or auxiliaries to trade means one and the same thing. These are the activities that enable goods to flow from the producer to the consumer as quickly and easily as possible. there are different types of auxiliaries to trade. Number 1, transportation. Number 2, warehousing. Number 3, insurance. Number 4, banking. Number 5, advertising. Let us know each of the auxiliaries to trade in detail. Let's begin with transportation. What is transportation? Transportation refers to the movement of goods and people from one place to another. There are various modes of transportation like road, rail, air, and sea. What does transportation do? It facilitates trade by assembling and distributing goods. It promotes specialization of business activities. It overcomes the barriers of distance to create utility and distribute goods equally. It also helps to equalize prices at different locations. At last, it also increases the size and scale of business. Next is warehousing. Warehousing refers to the process of storing finished goods till they are sold. In simple language, it is called go down. What is the use of warehousing? It is required for storage and preservation of goods since they are often produced beforehand. It ensures that surplus is distributed across the year. It also helps to stabilize prices. Warehouses are of the following types. Number 1, public. Number 2, private. Number 3, bonded. Public warehouses are owned by the port trust or wharfingers. Private warehouses are owned by merchants or producers. And bonded warehouses are set up by the custom departments. Next is banking and finance. Banks, they provide a business with money during the period between the sale of goods on credit and collection of money. They also provide cash and security to a business. They provide facilities to transfer money across locations. It collects money from the depositors and makes it available to businesses. It provides funds in the form of overdrafts, cash credit, loans, discounting of bills, and so on. Without bank, trade is impossible. Next here is insurance. Insurance is the practice of providing financial protection against any losses incurred. There are different types of insurance like life, fire, marine, and workmen's compensation. Insurance removes the hindrance of risk for a business. It reduces the losses suffered by a business person. It provides a sense of security to a business person. It covers risk due to change in prices, change in exchange rates, or loss or damage of goods by fire or by any other natural disaster in storage or in transit. Insurance means a coverage. And the last type of aids to trade is advertising and publicity. Advertising and publicity, they inform and educate consumers with respect to the different products and services which are available or have been introduced. They create demand for a product. They also maintain demand for a product or service. Without advertising and publicity, a consumer will not be able to know the new products being launched, or there is an improvisation or innovation being done in the existing product. It is an important auxiliary to trade. Now let's see the comparison between industry, commerce and trade. Industry, commerce and trade. Number 1. Meaning. Industry means production and supply of goods and services. Commerce involves distribution and demand for goods and services. Trade, on the other hand, means buying and selling and exchange of goods and services. Number 2. Investment. There is high investment in case of industries. In case of commerce, there is less capital investment as compared to industry. And trade, there is lesser capital as compared to industry and commerce. Number 3. Risk. There is high risk in case of industry, low or to moderate risk in case of commerce, and the same type of risk in case of trade. Number 4 is sequence. Industry precedes commerce. Commerce takes over after industry, and trade begins with commerce. Last is, where is it carried out? Industry is carried out in factories, commerce at various locations, and trade is carried out in the markets. Thank you.